mentor. Nsat, are you recording?
Of course, Carol, I'm recording the session. I hope it's okay with you.
Yeah, it's very okay. Just okay.
Okay, perfect. You could go on.
I work with Chaninga Child Development Center. It's based here in Fort Portal, Uganda. And today I'm going to share my journey with you. Hope we learn to unlearn and relearn. My story or my background is from frustration to empowerment, my journey as a special needs teacher. And this is my personal story. Nsape, is this the one on the screen or I go to my...
We can see your screen very well.
Oh, am I not able to move on the next slide? We there?
Perhaps you can check from your end. Yes, it's now moving.
Okay. As a passionate teacher, I wanted to make a difference in the lives of my students. But soon I found myself struggling to connect with learners with dyslexia. It was not very pleasant for me because I started blaming myself. I felt frustrated. I blamed the students for not paying attention or taking long not to meet my expectations. I blamed myself like, was I not doing enough for these learners? I felt defeated and demoralized. I would go home in the evening and be like, oh my goodness, what have I done today? This is not going well. This is not what I expected after spending lots and lots of time planning. And then I'd be like, where am I not doing well? What have I not done? You know, the guilt as a teacher, these learners come into your hands and you be like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you don't see the results. You don't see your input from the learners, then it becomes so tough. So it was really a tough journey for me as a teacher. And yeah, I realized that I didn't have the knowledge or skills or patience to support learners with dyslexia is effectively. So I had to quit my first job because I'm like, what am I doing? This is not what I really wanted. And it was really frustrating for me. And at that point, I had nothing to do because I was like, I'm not understanding where am I not doing right? Because the self-blame was more on me than the learners I'm handling. So I sought new knowledge. What I did when I quit my job, I started volunteering with schools, with inclusive schools, like wanting to know what was I not doing well in these typical classes where I just see typical learners, because I wasn't seeing any physical disability in these learners. Because the physical disability is where you can easily tell, yeah, this learner is having this, is able not to do this, or he cannot see this. But I didn't have any physical disability in my class. It was really tough. I'm like, what am I not doing well? Because we tried other strategies, because we were using Montessori approaches. I tried making groups, like supporting them individually, but things were not like connecting. So I started volunteering in an inclusive school. Games like in this class, this is my inspiring teacher. She's teacher Joyce, because she has 10 of them in a class with different learning needs. Learners with dyslexia, the blind, the deaf, every learner is in their class and the typical learners. So I'm like, how is she doing? I started going there. I got mentorship training in inclusive education. I even had to go and upgrade at university in special needs because I'm like, why am I not doing well? What is missing? I went for all this because it was really frustrating me, and what I needed, my passion was not coming out well as a teacher. So I developed a new perspective in my teaching and learning strategies. The new mindset now came in, like I now see the different diverse needs of learners in the class. How can I handle them? Then I started using different strategies, differentiating lessons for them, making ILPs and implementing them so that now I see I'm able to support these learners. I am an advocate for inclusive education because at the moment I'm doing mentoring and teaching and coaching. I go in different schools, support teachers, I support the learners, I work with the learners directly. We make resources to use in our classrooms. These pictures are showing it all. I support fellow colleagues like to use the different strategies to support all the diverse needs of learners. And it really improved my confidence. Like when I go to class, I know, wow, I'm able to handle this group of learners. I'm able to do this for this category of learners. And my lessons now became to be more fun and motivating. And it also improved the understanding of the lesson concepts among learners because now I can see the input, I can see the results from every method that I'm using as a teacher. This is now like motivating me from the other frustrated teacher. I can say, wow. Now, the big elephant in the room, or the topic of the day, that was just like a background, like where it came from, how it started, how the journey was in the beginning. Now, if a child can't read, are they having dyslexia? Don't answer now. I'll ask you again after this presentation because as educators, as teachers, I'm looking at the various ways we can use to assess, like we're using a tool from Washington Group of Questionnaires. It is a standardized tool for disability screening and assessment commonly used by NGOs, but us, in my NGO that I'm working in and the education sector, we worked on this tool, we played around this tool and we made sure it is suiting the needs of the learners we are working with. Because if we are targeting dyslexia, then the questions should be targeting that area. This is for us teachers to use. It will be guiding us to assess, is this child having dyslexia or not? The British Psychological Society gives a definition which describes the effects rather than the causes. Dyslexia is evident when a child or young person continues to demonstrate great difficulty in acquiring accurate and fluent word or spelling over a period of time. This focuses on literacy learning at the word level and implies that the problem is severe and persistent despite appropriate learning opportunities. This is how we defined dyslexia, looking at the perspective of teachers dealing with these learners. And like said, it greatly affects different areas. It can be reading, spelling, writing, listening, or memory difficulties. But despite the increased knowledge, nobody knows the exact causes. From a teaching point of view, it is realistic to continue to regard it as a pattern of difficulties emerging from many areas like I've just mentioned. What can these learning opportunities look like in a classroom for a child who finds reading, spelling, or number work challenging? What can we do as teachers, as educators, as mentors? Let's see what we can do. With the reading and writing and spelling, like we've said, let's see the methods that we're using as teachers. If they are not working, can we try other examples? Can we try other strategies to help these learners? For example, if the reading strategy you're using is not working for them, at this point, phonics will not help. Like sounding out words or letters will not help this learner struggling with dyslexia. So what we can do, maybe cut out sentences for them, use other words to play a memory game, like try other strategies if that real strategy or that same strategy you're trying to use as a teacher is not working. For spelling, we have games I'm going to show you shortly that we can use to help these learners struggling with dyslexia to come out well. The writing was the biggest problem in my class because I would expect by the time I finish writing, the work on the board, the children should also copy and finish. But now my learners who were really struggling, I would be like, why are you not finishing your work? Do this by the time of this, like even give them deadlines for them to finish, but they need time. If it needs like leaving the date, because they be intellectually good, if it needs skipping the date, because they begin with copying the date when it comes to writing, maybe their name or the name of the school or the title, give them a little more time. Let them skip those things and begin with the work you want to do, because they be knowing the date. What is the reason for them to spend an hour writing the date and they don't finish your work? Let us allow these learners, give them more time, and we shouldn't expect them to work at the same pace with the other typical learners, because this is already a challenge on its own. And the more we pressurize them, the more they become more timid and they be like, what do I do? This is too hard for me. And hence we might even make them drop out of school. But let us give them time. When marking their work, do it on a personal, like mark a child as him, ask them to focus more on their spellings or letter formation, like not all of them at once, step by step. We take them step by step. This is a great strategy called look, say, and cover, like for the spellings or for the tricky words. Let the learners take time. They first look at the word, they write it, they check, then it's a tool that we can use as teachers to do their spelling, and then they check themselves. If they practice time and again, it can be easy for them. Then this one is also a fun way. It's called bubble writing and rainbow writing. Rainbow writing or tracing within blue bubble letters is a simple writing practice strategy where children either trace or write the words in rainbow colors in bubble letters to practice spelling the word time and again. This one enhances their memory skills, like when they're writing, let's say the word cat, they trace it all over again with different colors. In the process, they're memorizing or getting the word. It works well with the tricky words. The more they do it, the more they practice doing it, it helps them with their spelling. Some of the high frequency words are really tricky for dyslexic children, and these high frequency words vary. They are in sets, like stage per stage. They are very tricky for them to memorize or to just say the word and get. And guess what? There is a fun way you can teach all these tricky words to learners with dyslexia. We use mnemonics. And what is a mnemonic? It is a system that helps us to remember something. We can think of it as a memory trick. How does it work? We can use one of these memory tricks to help us remember how to spell challenging words. These are some of the examples here. I don't know if you can all see our screen. Um, like the word tried, you get words that can connect, and we emphasize that you begin with that word, the real word you want the learner to get. Like if you want them to get the word tried, get a mnemonic: tried reading in extreme darkness. But our focus was on the word tried. If they begin tried, T-R-I-E-D, and the word is tried, tried reading in extreme darkness, you begin with the real word. By the time the child forgets the last words, he or she would have already written the first word. Which hen is called Henry? And with illustrations on them, they'd be like, uh-oh. And for our dyslexic learners, visuals are also very important because they can listen, and then seeing also enhances their learning. They be like, they remember what they see, and then they can try and use it. So we make small flashcards for these mnemonics, and it is played in a fun way or a game way. You flash the word which, you draw your chickens there. Which hen is called Henry? Said Annie in a delight. By the time they practice all the other tricky words, the high frequency words, they begin with, sorry, what have I done? Yeah. So that one is also a strategy called mnemonics to teach tricky words. Today, just wanted to share my story with you in hopes that it will inspire, challenge, motivate you to join us in creating a more inclusive and supporting learning environment for all our learners. Join me to this journey. Let us work together to create a world where every learner with dyslexia and any other special needs feels valued, supported, and empowered to succeed. Thank you very much. Now, my question comes back. If a child can't read, are they having dyslexia?
So, Carol, you want any member to volunteer and answer the question?
Yes, please.
You want any member to come up and volunteer and answer the
Yes, and
question,
then we
right?
talk about it.
Well, to my perception, I can say not every child who can't read has dyslexia. It depends with some circumstances. Uh, you may find there are some pupils they cannot read, but maybe they have uh, speech impairment, maybe like stammer. You may find a pupil is quite intelligent, but has some maybe speaking disabilities, maybe like stammer. So he may this pupil, you may find he or she cannot be able to read well, but also there are some pupils maybe depend also with characters. For example, on my class, I don't expect to see a pupil who is intrusive, like maybe we can say intrusive. These characters that are like for choleric, melancholic, yes, like these pragmatic pupils. Most of pragmatics they don't speak. You may find a pupil may may uh, may know how to write the word, but how to read it, just depending on his maybe nature of character, cannot read it. So every person who can't read not necessarily can be a dyslexic person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Philbert. Is there another person? Yeah, I see a hand. Liz?
Yeah, Carol, thank you for that great presentation. And also I'm adding on what Philbert, was it Philbert? That
Yes.
it's to answer your question that if a child cannot read, are they dyslexic? No. I'm also saying no, because maybe the instructions are not clear. Maybe the learner is still getting skills of reading. So I can say a big no that not every learner who cannot read is dyslexic. I submit.
Thank you, Liz. Okay. You, Philbert and Liz, thank you very much for your contributions. And you're very right, if I might say, because as I've said, as educators or teachers in the room, or maybe we're also having parents and other stakeholders here, before we say these children are having dyslexia, have we used the right tools to assess these learners? And when do we do the assessment to tell that, okay, this child has dyslexia? As I've said, if you want, I will share the assessment or screening tool we are currently using that we use to assess the learners. And sometimes, like Liz has just mentioned, the strategies we use. Have we tried all options, or we want to go back to my journey of being frustrated or what? So we shouldn't be frustrated. Let us just use the right assessment tools and try assessing all areas, because it may affect all areas or one area. If a child is just struggling in writing, where is the problem? If a child is struggling in reading, where is the problem? If it is both in writing, and at what age? Let us also consider the age. Like, what age is this child? Because you cannot start blaming a child in baby class. The child is not reading, the child is not writing. Like, it is too early to diagnose. And that's why, as educators, we try to see which tool works for which child and how can I use it. Have I tried all the strategies? And if all have failed, then we refer. We don't take things in our hands, because even using this assessment tool, before you assess a child, you need consent as educators. Like, this is what I've observed. You need consent maybe from your administrators or even the parent, because this, when we work together as educators and parents, we assist the child very well. So before assessing, let us get consent from the administration and maybe parents, so that we can work together to support our learners with dyslexia. And want to answer, if a child can't read, are they having dyslexia? Maybe there's someone who is saying yes, because maybe you have an experience and you think it is automatically dyslexia. Otherwise, welcome to suggestions and submissions on other matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol, for a very nice presentation. We all hope that we have all learned a lot, as parents, guardians, and everyone who has joined us today. So we now open the floor for questions, contributions, and anything that anyone wishes to say. I see we have no hands, but you can raise your hand, queue, or you can put your question or contribution on the chat, and we will deal with it. Okay,
Can I add
Chaz.
something? Can I add something, please?
Okay, Philbert, you can proceed before we invite Chaz.
Sorry for interruption, guys. By the way, my name is Philbert Kimambo, all the way from here, Kigamboni. Well, thank you for nice presentation, madam. A special need teacher, I think. Yeah, thank you. You have presented well. I have learned a lot of things from you. So, I have just a few things to share. I stand before you today, not just as a teacher, though I'm a teacher, but as a witness to transformation. Not just transformation of myself, but to my own and to my students. You know, when we talk about the journey of frustration to empowerment, you know, it has been one among the most humbling experiences of my career. And it involves all around one word: dyslexia. Now, basing on my teaching experience for some years, you know, I misunderstood the signs. You know, sometimes when I was starting teaching, I mistook a child's struggle to read as laziness. You know, I thought a child who can't read, to my perception, I said that this child is lazy or just a lack of focus. And I used it to push and pressurized them, and I punished them unknowingly. Now, unknowingly, what I was contributing is just adding frustration to those children. But then it came one day, I just came to be to learn something, which led to transform these pupils. I began to learn about dyslexia. I began to learn about dyscalculia. Now, and I listened and researched, and soon I started discovering the truth. Dyslexia is not a sign of failure. It is a different way of learning. That is what I've come to discover after my various researches and learning and some experiences. You know, the moment I embraced the dyslexia awareness, everything changed. I no longer tried to fit for my students, just pressurizing them, just forcing them. I just started to motivate them, just finding new teaching methodologies which can empower the children. And one among the methodology which I believe, which it has brought a great changes to my teaching career for almost many years of teaching, is just motivating pupils. For example, you are a teacher of a class having 40 pupils, and you want your pupils to learn, maybe to know how to read words, or maybe to make the pupil have interest in your session. Buying 40 juice, I don't think if it costs 1 lakh or 1 million. You can just even use your own resources, even your own money, just to motivate the pupils. Not even just buying juice. You can even just come with sweets, gifts. Positive reinforcement helps to make pupil first to love you, then to create eagerness to learn from you, and will every day discover, wonder, what will madam come today in the class with? Will she come with sweets? Now, perhaps that day did not come with sweets. Then now you listen, my pupils, I want you to read this part. Today I will teach you about this. But the one who will do better, I promise you, I will give you some gifts. Just even giving a pen. Just a simple gift, just motivating your pupils. While doing so, you also raise awareness to stakeholders, parents, other teachers, the society, just creating awareness. You know, these pupils with dyslexia, with learning disability, with these challenges, we need just to find different kind of ways of to help them, to teach them. Once you raise awareness to the parents through maybe annual parents meetings, or just through individual parent coming to the office for consultation, it helps first to raise awareness, but also it makes you as a teacher to deliver your content in a very simple way, and you reduce frustration. So I can conclude by saying this: empowerment came only not for them, to these pupils of mine, but for me also, to my side, because I always believe knowledge is power and understanding is freedom. So today, I stand even before this platform, I stand as a voice of awareness. Let us create classrooms where every child feels seen, where every child feels understood and supported. Let us shift from frustration to empowerment together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Philbert, for that experience. It really calls for all educators to move to empowerment instead of frustration. Whether the knowledge is there, we can work together. Let us support each other and move as a team to support all these learners struggling or having dyslexia in our classrooms. Yes, Safa, you're
Awesome.
saying something.
Thank you so much, Philbert. Of course, Philbert has been a great supporter of this online school since quite some time now, and we are very happy to have you. And we hope on mobilizing your friends and fellow teachers to attend the sessions so that we keep on learning together. So I saw a hand from Charles Remo Joseph. Charles, you can unmute your mic and put up your contribution or question. You're welcome.
Okay, good evening, colleagues. My name is Charles Remo Joseph. I am a speech and language therapist working in Uganda, Chaninga Child Development Center. I am so glad to be part of this learning experience with you today. I appreciate the presenter, Carol, for the work well done. It's a lot of learning for us. So to answer the question, if a child can't read, are they having dyslexia? I would say generally no, because not every child who can't read has dyslexia. Like Philbert and the other colleagues had mentioned, if you look at it, there are very many reasons why children may not be able to read. I appreciate a colleague already mentioned some speech challenges like stammering. A child may be competent to say the word that is written, but then he's blocking, the sound can't come out. And that causes the child not to attempt it. Or maybe the child is attempting and then a lot of repetitions are coming. And that brings about stigma, and the child has learned that when I attempt and it's not coming out well, people will laugh at me and then they will not read the word, especially when it is in front of people. Another reason could be that some children may not be ready in terms of their development to say certain sounds. So, for example, we call it in our area as a phonological delay. If a child is maybe 2 years and there are some advanced sounds that you don't expect at 2 years, and the child is not saying the words that have those sounds, and then we rush to say this child has dyslexia. Yet this child is only just 2 years. He has many years to go to achieve certain complex sounds. So when we judge this child prematurely, I think it will be unfair. So I agree that not every child who struggles to read is having dyslexia. You might also find those who maybe have having some not able to speak. They have they can be able to, for example, sign, and then are having hearing impairments. You don't expect them to read aloud, yet they can sign. So they can be able to see a text and then they sign for you, and they have understood the text, yet they can't read it verbally. And that is not to say they definitely have dyslexia, because if they have a hearing impairment, then you wouldn't expect them to be able to verbally read aloud a word. So yes, I totally agree that not every child who struggles to read has dyslexia. We need to be very deliberate in assessing and ruling out other factors. It could be the age of the child in terms of the development. It could be maybe other impairments, hearing impairments. It could be stammering. Or like my colleague has also mentioned, the pragmatics, maybe a social disorder that this child is not comfortable speaking in front of others or in the company of others, and they may be able to say it when they're alone. So when we don't understand the child from different contexts, then we may end up reaching a judgment or a diagnosis that may not be for this child. And it means also we will not be able to support this child well, because we feel we have already made the conclusion, and our conclusion will guide how we support this child and maybe not support also as well. So I also appreciate the area of support, like the strategies that were shared. You would see that a lot of focus has been given to fun ways of making this child master the concept, and a lot of opportunities for this child to be able to generalize, like I've seen the mnemonics there. helping with the memory as well, but also trying to help this child to be able to generalize these areas of difficulties, that's the areas where they're struggling with the sounds, for them to generalize and attempt this sound in different words, in different contexts. And it's really a very good way of making them learn. And like Philbert also mentioned, one key area is when it comes to special needs, it is very important for you to be very supportive. Other strategies can follow, but when the child reads that, oh, so and so is judging me and is rebuking me for what I'm not able to do, they begin to fear you, and that kind of panic even makes them to shy away and they not even attempt anything that you ask them to attempt. So when you are supportive, it makes it easier for them to be able to master whichever strategy you come up with. They already have that trust in you. The bonding is good, and they know that this teacher or this educator means well, and he's there or she's there to support me. And even when I make a mistake, I'll not be judged, and I'll do my best. So thank you very much. This is where I stop.
Thank you so much, Chaz Remo. And Chaz, I just hope you are in our support group, because it is very important to have a speech and language specialist like you in the platform. And in case if you are not there yet, I've put up a link on the chat. You can join our support group. Karibu sana.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not yet there, but I'm happy to be part.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Carol, do you have anything to say to what Charles said?
Yeah, just appreciating the knowledge he has added. And in Sape, there is someone who is failing to put up the hand, but they need to contribute or ask a question. Stella, if you're there, can you unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Stella, you can tap on the red mic and the line will be off and you ask your question. If you're not there, we can continue.
Okay, so anyone else who has a question, a contribution, anything, guys, you can share, or you can put anything on the chat and we'll read it on your behalf. So as we wait for perhaps more questions or contributions, Carol, I would love to ask you something.
Yes, please.
And more specifically based on your situation. I know you're based in Kenya, right?
In Uganda.
Uganda, okay, thank you. So you have shared quite a few tricks that can be used to help learners with dyslexia. Of course, you've shared quite a few, and I've gained interest in this mnemonics, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And of course, everything else that you've mentioned. But my question is, do you normally hold perhaps conventions or events in your country where you share these tricks and practices with your fellow educators or teachers? Do you normally have a tendency of doing this in your country?
Yes. On the 12th of September, we had our third Dyslexia Awareness Day, and it was held in Gulu. So our team went to Gulu and presented all these strategies and fun games we can use to support children with dyslexia. And here in Fort Portal, where our organization is based, we do continuous CPD trainings for our teachers in all schools around Fort Portal. Currently, we are working with 18 focused schools that we support more and more. We call teachers and we train them. How can they handle? How can they assess? How can they screen and tell this learner is having this difficulty? And we support them with different strategies. Personally, I follow up, I visit them after we've done the CPDs. I go in schools, I support teachers, I support with the learners, I work with the learners. If you can go back and check on my slides, I don't know if I'm able to go back. There are some photos I attached working with those children in groups, supporting the teachers. So we do trainings for teachers, and we also celebrate dyslexia. And it was in Gulu on the 12th of September, and our team presented very well, and teachers really loved the ideas, all the strategies. They were asking for more and more, but we gave them a hint so that they can first practice as we follow up, and we believe all teachers will be able to support our learners with dyslexia.
Okay, Carol, nice to hear that at least you are doing something back home regarding this. And of course, I asked because it is important to do these kinds of conventions or events to help teachers and sharpen their knowledge. Actually, Dyslexia Tanzania, and if we have teachers hearing me in this platform who are based in Tanzania and Arusha, we as Dyslexia Tanzania are organizing a teachers convention, which is set to happen on the 7th and 8th of October this year. So that will give us an opportunity, again, to share the best practices that relate to the new competency-based curriculum. So I welcome all teachers who are based in Tanzania, and more specifically Arusha, to join us for that 2-day event. It's a very important event. A lot will be covered in terms of these, what we call best practices. So karibuni sana if there are teachers who are based in Arusha in this group. Of course, you have you can reach us through the support group, and we'll provide further information regarding the convention. So is there any, I see a question on the chat from Janet. Janet is asking, hello, Carol, where you are in Fort Portal, do you do assessments to understand if a child has dyslexia? Carol.
Yes, please. Jeanette, thank you for the question. We are in Boma, in Fort Portal, we are in Boma, and our education hub is called KIMS, like Chaninga Inclusive Model School.
Okay, I hope that answers the question that Janet. Janet, in case you have any more questions on top of that question, you can still ask or contribute. But I see there's a contribution from Stella. Stella says, thank you all for your contributions about dyslexia. I have failed to unmute. I just want to add something. I have also come to learn that we can help learners with dyslexia deliver their input. For example, when it's time to do exams, since they can't write, I think it could be great if there's a system that allows these learners to have their exams done by recording, or someone else writing for them if they can speak. Also, teachers, please, let us try to be patient and supportive to all learners. Thank you all. And thank you, Stella, for this powerful contribution. So I can see there's no more hands, and of course, no more contribution or any question from the chat. Perhaps I can, okay. Carol, Janet is asking if she can connect with you.
Yes, Janet, you can reach me out. Are you in our group? If she's not, I can just put my number there and she reaches me from there.
Yes, that will be fine, I think. Just put your number and then she will reach you.
Lizzie's hand is up, Musape.
Okay, that's fine. Karibu.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I was supplementing something small. Elizabeth from Uganda. and work together with Carol at Chaninga Child Development Center, was supplementing something on what she talked about, that we reach schools, we do community awareness. We reach parents, we carry out home visits, we do community meetings, and we sensitize parents. So it's what I wanted to supplement. Then what I can't leave saying, I participated in that Gulu conference that Carol talked about. Many people were asking that, can someone go away with dyslexia? Like, can someone heal from it? What I want to supplement is no, someone may not heal. Someone cannot heal from dyslexia, but one can be able to work with it and make it in life. Like, if we teachers, parents, if we come out and support these people with dyslexia, they can develop their confidence we've talked about. We can boost their skills, because what I believe in and what I have come to know, that people who are dyslexic have other good part of it, like they are so creative, they are problem solvers, then they are strong they have strong interpersonal skills, they are resilient. So if those people are supported, they can come to appreciate the nature or the situation and be able to accommodate their way of living and be able to fit in the society and be able to handle the situation. So yeah, someone may not get out of dyslexia, but someone can move with it and become a better person once is identified early and supported. That's what I wanted to submit.
Thank
Okay,
you very
Elizabeth.
much. And Sape, can I say something small?
Okay.
As educators, I would just encourage one thing. Let us appreciate even this little effort our learners with dyslexia put on board or present to us. Let us appreciate their little efforts that they present to us. My motivator is my director, not was, is my director, Jane Olary. She's dyslexic, but she can perform. She performs very well. So being dyslexic cannot put you down like you cannot do anything in life. As long as you accept and see how to go about it, you are a very powerful person. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. So there's a message on the chat from Umi Masimba, all the way from Morogoro. She says, congratulations, Madam Presenter. The presentation is very powerful and informative. I'm still learning. Keep it up. So Umi, karibu sana, and of course, you can invite your fellows to come and learn with us as you're still learning. So there's a link to our support group. Claudius has shared a link to our support group once again. So for anyone who has not yet joined our support group, you can join us now or later, because this is where we normally share updates on what we do, on our projects, on our events, but also on our forthcoming online sessions. So we welcome each and every one of you to join our support. Okay, Carol has shared the number again for anyone who wants to connect with her directly. And of course, she's in a support group. You can also connect with her there. So I'm looking to see if there's any other hand raised, but I can't see any, and I've exhausted the messages that were put on the chat. So we actually have 10 minutes to spare, but it's not bad if we finish even before 9 o'clock. So Carol,
Yes.
before I put any final remarks, I can just welcome you to share anything. Of course, we are very happy to have you here, but let me give you a chance to say something final.
My final remarks would be that as teachers, we shouldn't feel demotivated at any point for failing. But what we can do is look out for more learning opportunities, whether specializing in something you're really passionate on or specializing to get more knowledge on these learners with dyslexia. Attend CPDs, because we as educators, we on the learning journey, we learn to unlearn and relearn. So let learning be our norm for everyday learning, We drop other strategies that are not helping at that moment. And then together we can support all learners with dyslexia. Thank you very much. And thank you, Nsapi,
Thank
for
you,
having
Carol,
me
and
as
looking forward to
speaker.
awesome, Carol, and looking forward to have you again and again. From me now, as we finalize our session, let me officially tell you that we have that event rising through our social media platforms, through even normally when we hold this meeting through the chats. We have moved the event to the 19th of October 2025. So we are still asking you guys to support us in any way. And remember, you can support us even from a distance. You should not necessarily come and physically run with us for this cause, but you can support us from a distance. So sana for supporting us, and also keep on being with us. Yes.
I was going to give you a highlight on the teachers' convention that is going to happen. Is it next week or this weekend?
Convention will be held on the 7th and 8th of October.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
We have 3 representatives who are coming from here. They will join me there.
Whoa, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carol. And that will be a very nice idea. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So once again, you can keep on supporting us. This goes out to everyone in the platform. Keep on joining our support group. Let's keep on learning together, and please don't forget to share information on our information about what we do every Tuesday regarding the online school, but also as Dyslexia Tanzania, our events and everything else. So after saying this, I think we can end the session, and you're welcome next Tuesday once again, 8 p.m.
Thank you so much, Nsapi, for a job well done. That was amazing moderation. Carol, you're awesome. This has rated as one of the top sessions I've had this year. You're just such an amazing presenter. Thank you for your journey. We have learned. And guess what? Today in our WhatsApp support group, we were sharing strategies that as parents and teachers would wish to have in a classroom with dyslexic learners. And you have done very, very well. And there was a vocabulary that many of us didn't understand, and it's high frequency words. An expert used H, F, W. So we're like, what is this? And you've just covered it in our session. So I just want to encourage everyone that you can always join these sessions. Like Carol, you said, let's learn and relearn and unlearn. Education is a lifelong journey. You know, in our support group we are 460 people. And now sessions, we have very few people attending. Today we had maximum 22 people. You can imagine if all of us were creating some time to join the sessions, dyslexic learners would have a better environment and a better experience in schools. My very own son, because of lack of awareness, wanted to drop out of school at the age of 9, just because there's no enough awareness. So if we take this opportunity to join the sessions and learn, we can learn from each other.
Yeah, thank you, Cordians.